Well, hey folks, my name is Brad Martin, and if you're new to my videos, I hike and explore these mountains of Vermont with my metal detector, searching for items lost by the pioneers that lived here before me. Now today, I'm hiking to the top of this mountain in search of an old home foundation from probably the end of the 1800s, possibly the turn of the century. It is the middle of March, and while there isn't any snow right here, we have a ways left to go up, and I have a feeling we're gonna run into some. I'll meet you at the top. All right, folks, well, we have arrived to the home foundation. It's right over here. It's a square hole lined with stones like we usually find up here in the mountains. And, you know, despite it being 50 degrees today, still quite a bit of snow up here. Totally fine. I'll probably have wet feet by the end of the day, but our metal detector will work just fine through that. So the landowner who invited me here today knows the names of the folks that lived here, but we do not know what their profession was, which is what I'm usually most interested in, because it can give us some idea of what we might find here. Since we don't know that, we'll use the things we find to try to guess who these people were and what they did for a living. I'm gonna get my metal detector unpacked, see what we can find. All right, well, I found a little area here where there's no snow, and this isn't my first target. I did find a bunch of shotgun shells before this, but this is the first thing that's old. And when it first came out, I thought for sure it was a big copper coin. This is a piece of an old lamp. This is where the wick would have come up through. It would have been a whole big apparatus. I mean, you can imagine what a lamp looked like. It would have had a chimney on top, glass chimney. And this is a good sign for two reasons. One, obviously, people lived here long enough to need light at night. And this is a big, nice brass target on the metal detector. So if people metal detected here before me, this would have been hard to miss. So I think that there's a good chance I'm the first one. Good sign. Let's see what else we can find. All right, well, I just found something similar to this. Didn't know what it was in the moment. And then all of you very knowledgeable viewers let me know that it was a hanging scale. You would have put something on a little hook. The weight of it would have moved a needle, and it would have told you how much it weighed. This is very similar to that. It has a graduated scale on there. Down here is a 50. There's a 10 and a 0, and then it goes up again. I don't seem to remember that hanging scale having a negative section. So I'm actually wondering if this is a thermometer. There is a JJ down here. I can't imagine what that would designate. It is all folded up, and I did unfold it quite a bit. There is one last fold up here, which I'm going to do carefully at home so we don't lose any of it. Maybe whatever's on the top here will shine some light on what exactly this is for. I'm going to guess thermometer or possibly another hanging scale, but the negative numbers down here doesn't make any sense for a scale. Kind of cool, whatever it is. Okay, well, I just got a fairly common artifact here. This is what folks in the hobby of metal detecting call a toe tap. It's a reinforcement for the front of a leather boot. As far as I understand, some boots came with them, but they could also, you know, you go to the cobbler. If you got a hole in your toe, they could throw one of these on there. And it doesn't happen all the time, but this one has some text on there, and maybe a date. Let's see. Well, unfortunately, I can't make out the last two digits of the 18 date, but it's the 1800s, and I think we'll be able to figure it out. We've got a November, 29th? Something that I learned recently with these patent dates is patents were only filed on Tuesdays. So if you can't figure out the last two digits of the date, hopefully we can figure it out by the month and day when that was a Tuesday. So that's pretty cool. 1800s toe tap. Nice. Alright, so I just got it was an okay target. Wasn't getting excited about it. I didn't get the camera out to film it. It's an awesome find. I'm trying to find my toothbrush here. So this is a common find. This is a pocket knife. We find pocket knives up here in the mountains of Vermont all the time. Almost every trip. But this one is brass. And when they're iron, when the scales are iron, it's nearly impossible to find out who the maker is. But this one, since it's all brass, is in good shape, and if you can see right here on both sides, there's a name. Well, unfortunately, right this moment, I cannot make out the first part here. But the last part is definitely Waterbury, which is Waterbury, Connecticut, I believe. And they made a ton of stuff out of brass, mostly buttons. Apparently pocket knives as well. Very cool. This is not a coin, not a piece of jewelry, but as far as artifacts go from this time period, it's in pretty good shape. It's got a name on it. We can do some research, figure out how old it is exactly, and that is an incredible find in my book. So cool. And you know, it's in good enough shape. I don't want to make promises I can't keep, but it almost seems like you could take those rivets out and put a new blade in those scales. Brass scaled pocket knife. Waterbury.
You know, it's funny. As I make loops around these home foundations, I try my best to not metal detect over places I've already been, to make the most of my time here. The snow is very telling where I've already been, and it's absolutely unbelievable how many times I walk the exact same path through the exact same trees with the metal detector. So the snow, although it's a pain, it's good for showing where I've already been so that I can search new places. This is also the first time I've done any metal detecting in over 3 months. This winter was brutal. We had way too much snow for metal detecting all year, so I'm kind of knocking the rust off. So far, so good though. Let's keep going, see what else we can find.
Alright, so I got a mid-tone on the metal detector, which, you know, I thought it was going to be a shotgun shell. I've been finding a ton of shotgun shells and shell casings today. I got the target out, and it appears to be a little brass tag. This is the back of it. Ornate. And this side, I was really hoping that the center here had text. But now that we're looking at it together, it appears it's just flowers. Yep, just flowers. That's too bad. I thought for sure that was going to have text on it. So, what would this be on, would you guess? Furniture? Although I don't see any obvious holes for affixing it. So, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. A little brass tag, ornamental, part of something. Pretty cool. Well, I just found what I thought was the copper jacket to a bullet, and I gave it a rub, and it turns out it's not. There's text. It says, I think what it says is Eagle Pencil Co. I don't know if there would have been an eraser. I assume there was. And I don't know if it's old or not right now. You know, it could be from the 1990s or the 1890s, for all I know. We'll find out, though. It's kind of cool. An old piece of pencil. Well, I'm not finding very many buttons today. I did find one tiny little cuff button, 1800s, flat one. And I just found a snap style button, I think. And it has a logo, which I do not recognize. At first I thought that it went this way. I mean, maybe it does. But you can see there's like an outer shield design. Or maybe it does go this way, and those are letters. Is that text? Is that like ICI? I'm not sure. If you recognize that, let me know. Since it is like a snap style button, it might be more modern than this site, but anything with a logo on it gets me excited because I get to do some research on it. Alright, so I just found an item, and I've seen it before. Somebody actually emailed me with a picture of this thing. years ago. But I don't remember. I don't know what this thing is. It's got a very unique shape to it. I feel like the one that this guy sent me had text on it, but this one doesn't appear to. And I'm fairly certain this was old. I remember seeing it and thinking, oh, that looks modern, and then being corrected that it is in fact old. So I'm going to do my best to try to figure out once again what this thing is. I'm fairly certain this is period with everything else we're finding. I just can't for the life of me remember what the heck this thing is. Anyway, moving on.
So I have just been racking my brain trying to remember what the heck this thing is. I definitely knew at one point, and I think I probably even have a photo and a record of what this is on my computer at home. That's not helping me right now. So I took a photo of this and posted it up on Instagram. Already, many of you have responded reminding me. So thank you, Instagram community. This is a closure for a bottle. This end up here would have been surrounded by a cork or maybe even rubber, and this whole thing would have been pushed down into a bottle to close it. I wish I found this in a bottle, because that would be even cooler. And maybe I'll have to go search that area some more with just the shovel, looking for bottles. But for now, this is certainly cool enough. Thank you, all of you Instagram folks, for reminding me. And I'll keep my ear out for similar targets. Maybe there'll be a bottle attached.
Alright, well I got a surprisingly good target here. You know, it's like sheet metal all around here. But I got a good target, and I haven't really pulled it out of the hole yet. But I saw this, and I was like, oh, I better get the camera out, because this looks pretty interesting. What is this? Oh, I think I know. Do you know? I'm not positive, but this appears to be the keyhole cover for a padlock. So I rubbed it on my pants a little bit. I believe what we have here is a little crown, and then a G something, and then it says patent, I believe. So yeah, I believe this is a padlock keyhole cover. It would swing out of the way, you could put your key in, and you just kept dirt and stuff out of the mechanism. Cool. Well, I've been jigging a lot of junk recently, so this is a nice little treat. It's going to keep me going for a little bit longer. Padlock plate. Super cool. Well, I'm not sure what we have here. It appears to be silver plated, not solid silver. But it does have a nice little floral pattern here. It does appear to be cleaning up pretty well. Maybe once I get this all completely cleaned up, we'll be able to figure out what this is exactly. But it appears to just be, you know, a decorative piece that would have gone around a wooden shaft of some kind. What it was, we'll probably never be able to figure it out, but who knows? Use your imagination. Alright, well I can't tell you how many live digs I've done today, and they wind up being garbage. But this one, it was a pretty good target. It was like an 80, let me check it again. 85, which is good. That's like coin range. And I got the plug out, and it's still an 85, so we're gonna check it out together here. Seems like it's still quite a bit deeper. Right in the middle of my hole. I did good digging this one. It's a coin. It is a coin. It is not a big copper, it's a small cent. Definitely a penny. But what kind? Looks like it's going to be an Indian head penny. I will take that. Today has been incredibly slow. We got a date too. 1867? Man, that's just about as old as you can get with an Indian head penny. It's in pretty good shape too. 1867. Well, the day was slow. But this seems like a good way to end it. I'll check this immediate area, before I pick up, but I'm happy with this being the end of the day. An old Indian head scent with a date. In good shape. Beautiful.
All right, folks, well, I've got all my stuff packed up and we're gonna call it a day. There's nothing I love more than metal detecting the very earliest colonial homes up here in the mountains. But there's something to say about these kind of turn of the century, early 1900s places where you never know what you're gonna find. There's a huge variety of things in the ground, and I always learn something new. That being said, I was hoping we could use these things to determine what their profession might have been. And unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna be able to do that. All of this very much came from a home. Let's take a look at it all and refresh our memories.
Well, a lot of this stuff didn't actually make it into the video, I don't think. Things like this gear back here, I got some just little brass doodads, a rivet, a buckle, the suspender. The rest of this you've seen for the most part. I did get a harmonica reed plate. Thermometer or hanging scale, at this point I think it is a thermometer. This silver ferrule thing, which is very decorative, I'm thinking now is part of the pencil, as these things were pretty much right next to each other. The toe tap with the date, or the patent date on it. Patent date doesn't necessarily mean manufacturer date, but it is a date. 3 kind of flat buttons, as well as the button with the logo on it. Indian head penny, keyhole cover for a padlock, and what I'm calling the coolest find of the day, the pocket knife. The brass scaled pocket knife with text on it that I'm going to be able to do some research on, figure out when those things were made, and maybe even put it back into service. That blade is going to be shot, but who knows, maybe we can put something new in there. Overall, a good day.
You're a hawk in the distance. All right, well, I want to thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and it's like 60 degrees right now. This very well might be the last time we see this white stuff until the end of 2021, and I hope so. It's been a long winter. I'm gonna start hiking out. See you next week.